because I craved belonging. I craved intimacy. I wanted someone to love me. I wanted to be accepted. I don't think I'm any different than most girls, especially on the planet, every continent. I think that most girls are craving love and intimacy and belonging. I'm not a guy, so I don't know about guys, but I know that every girl is wanting to be loved for who she is. My name is Heidi, and this is my story. I have a burning desire inside my heart to be loved, not just to belong, not just to fit in with a group, not just to be accepted, but to be wanted, to be pursued, and to be loved for who I am. I've looked for that in different places. I've looked for that in academics. I've looked for that in my body image. So I ran a lot and didn't eat very much and thought that maybe if I changed my body in a certain way, people would like me. There was something still inside me that was desperately wanting more. Feeling like, why should I wake up in the morning? Because no one's going to care if I do or not. It also made me wonder, what's the purpose? Because if no one loves me, there's no point in wanting to love anyone else, and then there's no point really in being. Not a good place to be. Every night I cried myself to sleep because I wanted something more. I wasn't finding that from anyone or anything. And I remember lying there and crying and saying to myself, if there is a God, now's the time he better show up, because I need something more in my life. This is horrible. And God showed himself to me that night. I remember lying in bed crying and asking God, if he's real, could he please hold me? Could he please hold me? I remember, and afterwards I wrote in my journal, God, please hold me, love me. Please love me. Love me as I am. And a peace came over me. I can't say it was immediately, but I can say that I had a really good sleep that night, and the next morning I knew that I was loved. I was loved not because I looked a certain way, not because I was trying to be thinner or be able to run longer, not because I fit in with a certain group of people, not because I laughed at certain jokes, but because of who I was. I now know that God loves me for who I am and not who I try to be. There was something different about that night, because instead of crying to myself and wallowing in my own loneliness, I was calling out to someone who's greater than me. I feel more free. I feel like I don't have to look a certain way. I can choose to exercise, but I don't have to exercise in order to fit in. I don't have to exercise in order to look a certain way. In fact, I don't have to look a certain way. I don't have to wear certain clothes. I can be who God made me to be. And I can love Jesus because he loves me, not because I try to. There's nothing I can do to earn his love. He's still pursuing me. He's still running after me and saying, Heidi, I love you, even though you don't know who I am exactly. And I can love other people as well, not because of how they look, not because of what they do or the jokes they laugh at, but because God made them, and they're on a search for love as well. And I can be part of their search for love. Jesus has fulfilled my craving for belonging, and he has fulfilled my craving for love and intimacy. And that's my story.